Have you ever found yourself sitting in class or at your desk, furiously clicking a pen 50 times a minute, tapping your foot like a human jackhammer, or folding a random candy wrapper into a microscopic crane just to keep your hands busy? Welcome to the club. Fidgeting isn't a bad habit. It's actually your brain's way of keeping you focused, lowering your stress, and keeping your mind awake. And guess what? You don't need to spend your allowance or real money buying overhyped plastic fidgets from a store. You can easily build the coolest, most satisfying, and ridiculously addictive sensory toys at home using stuff sitting in your recycling bin or kitchen drawers right now. We're talking infinite flippers, squishy poppets, popping bubbles, and satisfying clickers. Let's dive in. Here's the step-by-step cheat code for making an indestructible infinity cube. First, fold 8 identical small paper cubes out of cardstock or cereal box cardboard. Arrange those 8 cubes into a 2x4 grid. Now, here is where the magic happens. The taping pattern. If you tape all the sides randomly, the whole thing locks up into a useless block. But if you follow a specific hinge pattern, taping 2 top cubes together, 2 bottom cubes sideways, and 2 middle cubes vertically, the paper creates a continuous mechanical hinge system. Pro tip: don't just use regular cheap tape on paper hinges. Reinforce those tape seams with a strip of clear packing tape or paper tape. It keeps the hinges silky smooth and allows you to flip, fold, and roll your infinity cube all day long without the seams ripping apart. Now, let's talk about the ultimate classic: DIY poppets. We've all seen those silicone bubble popping toys. But did you know you can make custom paper and plastic poppets in literally any shape you want? Want a poppet shaped like an avocado, a cute cat, or a boba cup? Easy. Here is the secret recipe for making a super crisp, clicky, homemade poppet. Take a plastic water bottle cap or a small round object, trace a circle onto a piece of colorful cardstock, and cut out the hole. Now for the bubble part. Cut a circle out of thin, flexible plastic, like an old plastic foam sheet, a plastic folder, or a laminated piece of paper. Cut a tiny slit from the edge of the plastic circle to the center. Overlap the edges slightly to form a low cone and tape it flat. Pop that plastic cone into the hole on your cardstock frame and tape the edges down. When you press the middle of the plastic cone, it flips inside out with a super sharp, satisfying pop. Push it back from the other side, and it pops right back. You get that instant sensory pop sound using materials that were literally about to be thrown away. Let's move on to liquid and sensory pressure fidgets, specifically DIY squishy mesh balls. There is nothing better than squeezing a squishy ball and watching colorful little bubbles bulge out through a net. But if you've ever bought a cheap one at the store, you know they tend to burst open in about 5 minutes, leaving a sticky mess all over your couch. Here's the ultimate disaster-proof recipe for a homemade mesh stress ball. Grab a clear balloon and stretch it over a plastic bottle funnel. For the filling, you can use homemade slime, water beads, or a mix of hair gel and glitter. Once your balloon is filled and tied off tight, here's the secret step. Double bag it. Cut the neck off a second balloon and stretch it right over the first one.
Now I'm ready, hold me steady, I put it all out on the line. Will you hear me, can you see me, tell me everything is fine. 'Cause you're all that I want, and you know what I got, yeah. Am I what you need? Please tell me if I'm not.
Now for the mesh part. Grab a small piece of mesh fabric, a fruit netting bag from the grocery store, or an old fishnet glove. Wrap the mesh tightly around your double-layered balloon and tie the bottom with a zip tie or a strong rubber band. When you squeeze it, the inner gel bulges through the mesh in a bunch of tiny, squishy bubbles, and the double balloon layer keeps it completely leak-proof. Now, let's talk about tactile audio fidgets, stuff made specifically for those awesome crunchy and clicking ASMR sounds. Let's build a DIY cardboard clicker wheel. Take 2 circles of thick cardboard. On one circle, cut a series of tiny, evenly spaced notches around the outer edge, like a gear. On the second circle, attach a small, flexible strip of plastic, like a piece of a plastic milk jug. Fasten the 2 circles together through the middle using a brass paper fastener or a toothpick axle so the gear can spin. As you spin the gear, the plastic strip snaps against each notch, producing a fast, mechanical click, 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 click sound that feels insanely satisfying to turn. Let's address the battle of DIY slime fidgets. We can't talk about sensory crafts without mentioning slime, but regular runny slime can get messy real quick. If you want a slime that acts like an actual fidget toy, you want butter slime or clay slime. Here's the foolproof recipe for a super holdable, non-sticky butter slime. Mix basic white PVA glue with a little bit of baking soda and contact lens solution until it forms a soft slime. Now, for the magic ingredient, knead a handful of soft model magic or air-dry clay directly into the slime. The clay absorbs the excess moisture, turning the slime into a soft, spreadable, velvety dough that doesn't stick to your hands or table. You can stretch it, poke it, fold it and squish it repeatedly without leaving a single sticky residue behind. Want another epic sensory hack? DIY kinetic sand and foam sand. Kinetic sand is amazing because it holds its shape when you pack it together, but melts like a liquid when you slice through it with a plastic knife. To make your own kinetic sand at home, mix 4 cups of fine play sand with 1 cup of cornstarch. Once those dry ingredients are mixed well, add a tablespoon of dish soap and a little water, stirring until it reaches that magical, flowy texture. Slicing through homemade kinetic sand with a ruler or pressing it into mini molds is peak relaxation after a long day. Let's talk about DIY marble mazes. These are super cute, flexible fabric or plastic pouches with a marble trapped inside that you push back and forth through a maze. It's an incredible tool for calming anxiety because it forces your hands and brain to focus on a slow, rhythmic movement. To build a marble maze without sewing a single stitch, grab a piece of colorful felt or thick fabric and some fabric glue or hot glue. Fold the fabric in half like a little book. Draw a simple maze path on the inside using a marker. Trace along your maze lines with glue, drop a small glass marble inside the path, and seal all the outer edges shut. Once the glue dries, you can push the marble through the soft fabric maze paths with your thumbs for hours. Here's a quick craft. Build a DIY custom fidget storage chest using an egg carton or a shoebox. Cut out cardboard dividers to create small compartments inside a shoebox, paint the outside with bright colors or pastel acrylics, and label each section for your clickers, squishies, paper toys, and slimes. Keeping your sensory toys organized keeps them clean, prevents them from getting lost, and makes your desk setup look super aesthetic. Let's drop a quick safety and cleanup tip. When you're making sensory toys with liquids, glues, or tiny beads, always put down a plastic tray, an old newspaper, or a silicone mat first. If you drop water beads or glitter on your carpet, you will be vacuuming up tiny shiny specks for the next 3 years. And always make sure your glue seams and balloon knots are completely dry and double-checked before you start squishing with all your strength. At the end of the day, making your own DIY fidget toys and sensory crafts isn't just about saving money. It's about using your creativity, problem-solving with your hands, and building custom tools that help you relax, focus, and have fun. There are no rules, no grades,